Let's talk about Kokomi. If you didn't know, in the little MiHoYo website, they finally put out what Kokomi's skills are. We're gonna be talking about artifacts and weapons. It's gonna be fun. So quick things, you gotta know she's a catalyst. So for this example, we'll be using Barbara because everyone calls Kokomi Barbara. If you don't know what a catalyst is, basically this book. So she deals hydro damage, 3 consecutive hits dealing hydro damage. Her charge attack deals AoE hydro. Her elemental skill deals hydro damage to surrounding opponents. And she heals your characters. That is based off max HP of Kokomi. That's important. And with her burst, her normal attack, charge attack, and her elemental skill are increased. Her damage is increased by her max HP. But not only is her damage increased, but she also heals nearby party members based off her max HP. Apparently she's a god because she can walk on water, resistance to interruption. So if you wanted to make Kokomi your main DPS or some sort of DPS, artifacts that I would recommend is over at Dragon Spine. I would recommend getting a 2-piece of the Heart of Death, get that 15% hydro damage bonus. And on the top left, a little bit above Dragon Spine, there's a little domain here. And I would aim for another 2-piece of this Tenacity of the Millilith, in that HP increased by 20%. The reason that I recommend these 2 artifact sets is if you remember in her skills, she deals damage based off of her max HP. But not only that, she also heals based off her max HP. Basically, the higher HP you have, the better she would be. But you can also work with a 4-piece set of the Heart of Death, because regardless, she's gonna deal as much damage as she can with her normal and charge attack. But she's not like Ball over here, where her burst turns her attacks into her burst as well. But basically, the higher your HP, the more damage you'll deal with Kokomi. Of course, with the flower, you want to have as much HP as you can, and if you want, you can bring up that attack. The feather, same scenario, bring up that HP. Now with her sand over here and the crown, I personally feel like in order to deal as much damage as you can with Kokomi, get some HP and even more HP, because it's gonna keep racking up. She's gonna go out in the world and color her namesake on these nuts. And of course, with the little cup here, you can either go for something like a hydro damage bonus, or you can get some more HP. That is completely up to you. Since we can't test, right? I mean, I kind of like the HP a little bit more, but I can't blame you if you got the little hydro damage bonus. That guy's looking at me funny. Now let's say you wanted to make Kokomi your supporter. You just want her to heal Pocket Sage and Valorant or something. I don't know the cool kids say nowadays. Now again, on top of Dragon Spine, there's a little domain up here. There is an artifact, the Maiden Beloved, and it grants character healing effectiveness by 15%. After focused on healing, you could go for the 4-piece, or you can go for a 2-piece, and you can either rock the Heart of Death or the Tenacity Millilith, HP increased by 20%. Now, the same deal like I explained, if you wanted to turn into a main DPS, you want to gain as much HP as you can, because just like her attack, the more HP you have, the more healing she gives to her allies. So of course, substats, HP, another HP, stands again, try and find an HP one, like so. Crown again, HP, and again for healing, more HP. But if you want, you can also use a hydro damage bonus. But based off what I read, a lot of things for Kokomi sounds like she would really like some HP. She does not want to die. All right, now let's talk about weapons. What sort of weapons should you give Kokomi if you plan to summon for her? Now I'm over here lacking the department of weapons, but if you did some summons, you may have gotten this, catalyst right here, Thrilling Tales of Dragon Slayers. If you're poor like me, I would use that weapon. Not only does it give you HP, so it's good if you wanted her as your DPS, your sub DPS, or a support. It can also act as like another support for your characters that you're switching with, because the next character you take out, their attack is increased by 48%, but I have it at refinement 5. This has no refinement, so 24%. I assume you're rich and lucky when you're doing your weekly bosses, but another weapon that you can get is this little prototype amber right here. So again, you get more HP, but you also bring up energy and HP. Of course, if you're racking up those catalysts from your weekly bosses, this is another best way to go for her weapon. I mean, based off this, she has a pretty fancy catalyst. I'm assuming that's her own weapon. But of course, if you do end up getting that weapon, then that's probably your best bet to go. But if you don't plan to summon that weapon, like I said, that prototype amber looking pretty nice. But also, if you're poor like me, then the Thrilling Tales of Dragon Slayer is pretty gnarly. Now you may be wondering why I haven't mentioned crit at all, but if you've been following the live streams, they have mentioned that Kokomi will have -% crit rate. So basically, she's not dealing any crit at all. I'm sure there's some whale out there that's gonna find out a way to make her deal crit. She may say no to crit, but they're gonna find a way to make her crit. Okay, just pretend this is Kokomi's talents right here. If you wanted her to be a main DPS or a sub DPS, whatever you want, I would recommend doing her burst first and then work your way with normal attack. Because if you remember, burst over here increases her normal charge and her skill attack based off her max HP. So we're just gonna keep clicking, use that burst, then go to that that normal attack, charge, whatever. But if you want, you can also do this one first instead of the normal hits. But overall, it seems like her elemental burst is the way to go to level up her talent first. And that also goes if you want to use her as a support. If you want to heal, you don't want to rely on your little statue. Hey, you know what? Overall, just do her burst first. It's great for you. Anyways, that's my opinion. If you have any other opinions, let me know down in the comments below. And also let me know if you're going to summon for Kokomi. I'm debating. I might not, but you never know. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.